So I like to start by focusing before you got to college, before you arrived at this campus. You've mentioned before that you didn't really know what to study and you were doing other things.
Sure.
So who were you before college? What were you like as a child, and what led you here?
Cool question. That's often doesn't come up to go that far back. But yeah, okay. So I obviously went to the University of Illinois. It is a big part of my identity. I am from a town called Frankfort. So Frankfort's in Will County. It's about 25 miles south of the city. Went to a high school called Lincoln Way. Off the top of my head, it kind of was a cool. Maybe because I'm on campus, I'll use words like cool, but I promise my adjectives and synonyms will improve.
Different when you're a lawyer.
As we go through this. But it was a appropriate transition into such a big campus, like a Big Ten university. With the high school I went to, Lincoln Way, we had over 5,000 students. My class was over 1,200. As a ninth grader, that's a little of a culture shock, very different than anything you've experienced in life, at least from a suburbs kid. And I was very involved. I was a very involved, active student, student organizations. And the reason I guess I flagged that is because that would be a common theme throughout my life. Signing up for programs and clubs and volunteering and, after school. Obviously, there was video game councils, and there was, I'm not that old. There were obviously, TV and cable and great sitcoms back then as there are today, but not subscriptions based. There wasn't Netflix existed in so much as it was physical. They would mail you movies, but social media too. Social media was around when I was in college and stuff, but it wasn't anything like it is today, which is at the forefront. So you had to, if you wanted to meet people, it wasn't through a black screen. It was through, having to just sign up and get engaged. And I sort of always would have considered myself a social person. I liked. My dad was the mayor of our small town, Frankfort. I really appreciated being able to participate when I was able to participate in adult conversations and just. It's you're practicing without even realizing you're learning, and those skills became assets over time. But then, much like a lot of big high schools, U of I throughout the state, U of I was a big draw. So I was excited to apply, but equally nervous. This was where I wanted to go. And just the concept of like a Big Ten experience, for the Midwest especially, but from coast to coast, we have we as a conference or a collective of schools, you're going to have a Midwestern sort of charm experience. You're going to have the seasons. You're going to be, unless you are the proverbial townie, you're going to be out on your own for the first time. So yeah, I remember the day I got the letter of acceptance, and I lived. I lived with some friends from Lincoln Way at Bromley. 703, I think, was my freshman year room. Bromley 703. So yeah, that was. It was, and ever since, I still go home. My family's from that area. I like to keep the close ties and stuff, but that's how it started, or where it started, I suppose.